Assalamu alaikum. Ahlan wa sahlan. Hello, welcome. As you can see, I'm in very esteemed company indeed right now. I'm sure many people are very excited to see this man, so allow me just for a moment to give you a proper introduction that you very much deserve. We are talking about a Chelsea legend, one of the best African footballers of all time, four-time Premier League winner, Champions League winner, winner of many other accolades. Your glass cabinet is pretty full. None other than, please give me, or help me, I should say, give a very warm Riyadh welcome to Didier Drogba. How are you? Yes, please. Oh yes, that would help. How are you?
I'm good. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here. And I'm good.
You good?
Yes.
You know what, I learned something about you today. I think it's perhaps the thing that I enjoy the most about you as a human being. You know what it is?
No.
You and I have the same birthday. March 11. I knew I liked this guy, yeah?
The best, we are the best.
The best. Brilliant. So if you're ready, why don't we get comfortable? Let's take a seat.
Yeah.
Any Chelsea fans in the house? Oh yeah. Woo, he's excited.
The Blues.
Galatasaray fans, okay.
Chimamanda.
Lovely, lovely. Excellent. So why don't we start off with talking a little about why it is that so many people love you and why they resonate so much with your career, your journey in football and beyond.
I think it's very simple. Before becoming Didier Drogba, I was Didier.
Okay.
Only Didier, the person nobody knew, and I was a fan of football like a lot of people. And so the passion I had when I was sitting in front of my screen was the same I had when I was playing for 20 years at high level. And football is about emotions, it's about passion, it's about giving everything for a positive result. So it applies in football, but mostly it applies in life. So these are key values for me to enjoy, to give everything, and I think people recognize themselves. Yes, I won, you mentioned it before, I won a lot of trophies, a lot of competitions, but I also lost a lot, which is part of life. And I learned a lot from this. So I think that's why people, tend to recognize the work that I've done.
They can relate to the hardships.
Relate, I think
the
I think
journey.
so.
Yes, it is a beautiful story, isn't it? Everything that you've overcome and everything that you've achieved on and off the pitch. And you have built this incredible legacy. I mean, look at how many people are here now. It's a full house. Everybody is just absolutely delighted to see you here. And it is a pleasure for us to have you on stage with us. So how does it feel knowing that you have been able to inspire so many people around the world?
Well, I think it's a blessing from God, to be able to live from your passion first. Not everybody is able to do that, so I felt privileged. So that's why I enjoyed every second of my career. And it's just, people don't understand, but it's just normal for me.
Yeah.
To have enjoyed football, but to keep trying to stay the same person that I was before success, during success, and after success. That's the most important thing, is to be humble.
Yeah. And I can attest, I've met you before recently, I've sat down with you, we've had a conversation, and I can attest this man is very honest and truthful when he says he's humble. He is very humble.
Oh, thank you.
It's a rare quality, I think, sometimes in this world.
I didn't have the same career most of the players. Until age 19, I was still an amateur. I was playing in Paris region. I was 19. Desperately writing CV letters for clubs to have me on trials. And then my life changed when I signed for Le Mans, where they do the 24 hours race.
Yeah, of course.
I signed professional, I was 20 years old.
To be a Le Mans driver, right?
Yeah, I could have actually. But at that same age, Thierry Henry was World Cup winner. So just to tell you the path. So that explains when I was saying that I used to be Didier, and then I became Didier Drogba, because I've seen the other side of it. The struggle to get there, to become professional, and then also to live the experience of being famous. It's actually funny, but for me, being famous is part of life, but it's not the real life. I come out, you have to act a certain way, you have to behave a certain way, you cannot be yourself, but my parents taught me that you have to be the same person from day one until your last day on this planet, because what you receive from God is precious. So use it well and do good to people.
That's beautiful, I love that. So would you say, let's give him a round of applause. Really lovely.
Thank you.
So would you say you've gone from Didier to Didier Drogba back to Didier? Or
Back-
is there
back
a bit
to
of both?
Didier, back to Didier, back to Didier. I'm used to both now, but we were working I was working with I think 10, 15 bodyguards, and I was like, oh, that's not me. It's nice, but
Sure. I'm sure for them it's a wonderful experience to
Of
be able to
course,
say
of
that
course.
they're escorting you down the hallways. So we are here in a stage that is all about stadiums and megastructures. So let's talk a little bit about that for right now. You've obviously been at the forefront and experienced yourself how football has evolved all throughout your career. How do you think that the future is going to see the continual growth and change of stadium experiences, not just for fans, but also for players and for coaches?
football has evolved and a lot in the past 10 to 15 years. Talking about players, I was at Chelsea until 2012. Then I left and came back in 2014. And already playing was not the same as 2 years ago.
Incredible.
So we were playing in a system where I was the main striker, and I had wingers like Arjen Robben, Damien Duff, Joe Cole, and so on and so on. And when I came back, the game has changed. So the left-footed player was not on the left no more and crossing the balls. So
was
now
an
they play on
inverted
they played on inverting foot. So the left foot player was on the right to come inside, try the 1-2 and shoot. When before I was waiting for the guys to cross, and score the goals. So I became the guy they used to do the 1-2 and score goals. So it's part of the evolution of football and the tactics as well. So it's important. But on the other side, the entertainment side has also improved, and I think football is going towards a bit of the US style of entertaining. Now, football is not just going to the stadium, is not just going to attend to a football match, but it becomes a full experience. There's restaurants. I take as an example the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. When they built it, they asked all the people from Atlanta what was their best restaurants, which restaurant they used to go to, and they put all these in the stadium. So when people go to the stadium, they feel like they're at home. So they feel comfortable going to the stadium with the family. So it's a different experience, different level of experience. So and I think it's important for football to go this way.
Can we just pause for 1 minute? Because I see a little boy in the audience holding something up. I can't read what it says, but I do see it says Drogba. I'm sure would love to be able to read his message to you. Why don't you come on up here?
What's your name?
Mahmoud.
Nice to meet you, my friend.
Nice to meet you too.
What did you write? You miss Prime Drogba. I miss him too. I miss him too.
Oh, thank you very much for that. That was so cute. You're still prime. Come on, what are you talking about?
I don't know how old is he, but I mean, he's too young to have seen me play.
Well, that's why YouTube exists, right?
Amazing, amazing.
Wonderful. Well, talking about moments like this, moments that go on to become iconic and memorable for fans at stadiums. You've obviously played in some of the best in the world, in front of the most incredible atmospheres in the world. How have you seen that also change and develop? And what is it, do you think, that makes something so iconic and so memorable for fans?
I think it's the relationship with the fans, you know, and during my career, I'm a person living and performing through a lot of emotions, you know, and to give my best. For me, working on a football pitch was to entertain people. So, because as a kid, when I first attended a football match, I was in the stand and I was watching the game and I saw the interaction between the guy who had the ball and the fans in the stand, and I was like, whoa, that's amazing. And I look at the fans and I say, okay, when I grow up, I want to be this guy. I want to be able to make people happy, to give joy to people. So that became my job, and I enjoyed scoring goals, winning trophies, but also connecting with people.
And hey, you're still doing it, even today.
No, it's important. It's important, and I think football will always, improve, and the entertainment will always improve. But you cannot separate the connection between players and the fans. We had the COVID-19, all around the world, and you saw how, football was sad, without fans in stadiums, and how also cities were not the same without people in the streets. So there's this connection that you cannot separate, and which is very important.
Talking about connection and shifting gears a little bit, there's a really interesting connection burgeoning between traditional football, traditional sports, and esports and e-football, for example. How do you think that e-football kind of fits into the broader scope of traditional sports overall, and more specifically as it relates to traditional football?
I think a lot of people who are, first of all, I'm going to start by saying sport and football, sport in general and football in particular, are very inclusive. In sports, you learn a lot of values. From being in a Chelsea team where you have different nationalities and you have to get on well together. You have to have results together. You need to learn the culture from your teammates. Who is he? Is he Russian, Serbian, English, Ivorian, Ghanaian? And you need to learn how to live together. So football in that way is very similar to what happens in real life. And those people who are into esports, of course, there's ex-professional football players, but there's a lot of people who cannot make it as a career, but who still have the dream to become champion playing esports. And the dream is still on, and I love that there's opportunity for people to achieve their dreams, or even to play and to connect to people all around the world. I think this is important, and you will see there will be a time where both will be together, and it will be normal. We won't even speak about it.
I'm glad you just said that, because that's kind of where I wanted to take this conversation, because let's do it. Because we do see that esports has become massive in its own right, and it's not just traditional sport, traditional football that's actually filling stadiums to the rafters. We see arenas of esports and e-football competition that are just as full. So how do you see them kind of living under the same roof, and so to speak, and thriving almost together in a way, if that's even possible?
I think the good thing with esports, you don't have to be, it's kind of physical, because you need a lot of mental concentration.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the thumbs might get a little tired.
Yes, but So that's why it's affordable to everyone. But they are able to live the experience of a football player, of a high-level professional football player, which is very good. And again, you can become a superstar if you, again, apply the same values, because esports, yes, it's fun, but there's values and there's ways to win. You know, still need to learn how to win. And I see a lot of similarities.
Do we have any aspiring athletes in the audience? Anyone? Maybe our little young friend over there? Anybody who would like to be one day fulfilling the dreams of someone like Didier? No, maybe perhaps in another life, but nonetheless.
You might be shy, maybe.
The only reason I ask is because I would love to hear your words of encouragement, or what it is that you can say to those who want to aspire for more. It doesn't even necessarily have to be about football or sport. Maybe it can be just about life in general. You were talking about those lessons that you learned about resilience and persistence. What it is that maybe you can help teach people who can apply some of those same lessons and messages to their own lives.
As no one is asking me any questions, I think I want to use my kids as a reference.
Okay.
They've seen me playing at the highest level, and sometimes, and you cannot blame them for that, they think everything is easy. You know, you live in a nice house, you got the nice cars, you travel like business class and or first class, everything. But I still try to teach them that this is the life you get once you worked hard. It doesn't come like this. You cannot sit in your sofa or being playing video games or being on your phone and hope that one day you become successful. No,
Unless
no, no.
you become an esports superstar, but
Yes, but you still have to work hard.
But you still have to work very hard.
Yes,
very true.
so you need to put a lot of hard work to become successful, and sometimes it doesn't even work. So, but you still have to go again. So the resilience, the ability to question yourself on what did I do wrong? Why did I lose this game? Why did I miss this opportunity to score? Why did I miss this opportunity in life? These are the few things that can help you not only be a better athlete or a better person in life, but to get closer to your dreams.
I think there's kind of one word that immediately jumps to the forefront of my mind that really encapsulates everything that you're talking about, and that would be dedication.
Oh yes, dedication is important. I dedicated 34 years of my life to football, and you know, when you give everything, you always receive something back. And the best thing I received might not be the trophies. The trophies are nice, but it's the recognitions from everyone sitting here and all the people who are supporting me. I think that's the best reward you can get.
And I think, if memory serves me well, it was Titi who said that you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't marry talent with dedication, then you're not necessarily always going to be able to fulfill your life purpose or your dreams or your goals and your ambitions. So.
Yes, exactly. And also you need to be, once you succeeded, you need to be able to give something back to the next generation or to the people around you who are asking for help or advices. So I think an athlete or an entrepreneur is complete once he managed to pass, you know, something to the next generation, and that's for me what really makes me happy. When I see players like Eden Hazard, Mohamed Salah, and a lot of the boys, I won't name them here, but a lot of the boys who had a great career, who are having a great career. I was with Obi Mikel as well, who came at Chelsea very young, performed very well, and then now he's transitioning, and I'm very proud to see him transitioning well, and this is what we want to see.
And since we are here in Saudi Arabia, and speaking of future generations, apologies, I don't know if this is the first time you've actually been here before?
Oh, no, it's not the first time.
Okay.
I've been here many times. I've visited the old town with the Minister of Tourism. I was even in Paris when they had the bid for the 2030 the Expo.
Yes.
And yeah, so I can say that I'm a little bit at home. I need to come a bit more often to feel more at home, but yeah, I'm always welcomed here, and that's the most important.
Well, I tell you what, with all of the incredible sporting events that are lined up over the next decade or so, I'm sure you'll be invited a few fair times, no question about that. But tell me what you've seen so far in terms of how they've been able to build towards this incredible and exciting future, quite frankly, of what it is they are trying to do in the sports world here.
I think we as people and as famous people, we have to encourage when the vision is right, when you see the empowerment of women, of the youth happening, when you see all the changes happening here in Saudi, we have to come and support. It's important because we cannot sit in your sofa and say, oh, this country is like this country is like that. You have to come, experience it, and from what you've seen, make your own judgment. And my judgment for Saudi Arabia has been fantastic since day one that I came here, that I've been invited here, and that's why I'm willing to come a bit more and create a bit more connections here, because I really love what I see. You know, I have my friend who used to come here like 10 years ago. He said to me, he's coming back for the first time, and he said to me, I've never seen so many women freely walking in the streets, driving cars, and this is something we have to support. We have to support, and the results, and sports helps a lot. The last result at the World Cup really helped position Saudi Arabia a bit more on the map, and this is the power of, soft power. Yes.
The power of sport in general as well. It really is incredible what it is capable of doing. We just have a few moments left. Any final thoughts, any final words that you would like to share with these wonderful people that have been here with us?
I don't know, if they want to ask some questions, I'm more than happy to
Okay,
answer.
I'm sure you're going to have the whole room just shooting their hands up here. Questions? Over here on the right. Any microphone available to hand over? If not, I'll just grab the microphone and bring it back. Oh, are you going to ask a question as well? Okay, thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before I will comment, I would like to express my gratitude to our in-law, Didier Drogba, seeing you here, although you don't know me. Thank you. My question is, as a legend, what advice are you going to give for young Africans football and for young Africans Middle East football? Why? Because I have never seen an African team won a World Cup or a Middle East won a World Cup. What advice could you give to Africans, and what can you say about African in general? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's an interesting question. People are asking me this a lot. When are we going to see an African team or Middle East team winning the World Cup? So 15 years ago, my answer was, how can you, the chances of an African team winning the World Cup when you only have 5 teams qualifying out of 32, the chances are like this. This is pure math. But now FIFA has been working a lot to increase the amount of teams, the number of teams, African teams in the World Cup and Middle East teams as well. But then when I look at the mirror and judge African teams, I think we have the talent. You know, we have the players. but we lack of infrastructures. So if we develop the infrastructures, not only we'll be able to help the player to develop, but also you'll get used to what you have in Europe, the facilities, the pitch. You know, I finished my career and I went back to Ivory Coast and I see players playing league games on turf, but there's not even, this grass is better than the one they were playing on, which is not normal, you know. But it shows how resilient they are and how desperate they are to make it. So I believe one day an African team will win the World Cup, a Middle East team will win the World Cup. Look at the last results. You know, the difference now, the gap between the best teams and the so-called small teams, you know, is closing. So we're coming closer, we're getting there.
Thank you. Really nice question. Your number one fan.
First of all, I want to say thank you for visit Riyadh. You are welcome. I can't believe you are in front of me because I'm a huge Chelsea fan because of you, really.
Thank you.
I have two questions for you. First one is, what is the greatest stadium you played in? And second one, can I have a picture with you, please?
Of course, we take the picture after, no problem. Greatest stadiums are not always the best atmosphere. So in terms of atmosphere, one of the best stadium I've played in is the one in Ivory Coast. It was 30,000 seats, not the most fancy stadium, but the atmosphere when you go there.
You surprised me. I thought it would be in Europe.
Wait, I'm not done yet. In terms of experience, there's few stadiums which are really here in terms of emotions. Of course, in Ivory Coast, the stadium I used to play with the national team, for me, is really close to my heart. But stadiums like Marseille, Galatasaray, you mentioned Galatasaray earlier, Chelsea on the Champions League night, whereas Anfield is very difficult to play there. So we can be on the pitch and 2 meters away from each other, but you don't understand what your teammate is saying. You have to read his.
Wow.
It's and sometimes it's the pressure is so much that you make mistakes. But these are the stadiums that are really amazing to play in. Good.
Thank you. Smart man, by the way. Getting that question in for a photo nice and early.
Thank you for coming here. I remember 9 years ago when you were playing for Montreal, I was chasing the bus to take a picture with you. And I finally took it with you.
They stopped the bus, right? We took the picture.
Yeah.
Do you have it on your phone?
Yeah, I will show you.
Oh, you're going to have to show him, absolutely.
My question to you is, what kind of advice do you give to the people that have the passion to play football, but they didn't get the chance to play professionally, but they pursued other careers? For me, I still play, but how can you advise people to stay play football?
So this is exactly what I say to my kids. I say, you know, I don't want to discourage them, but I tell them, out of 100 players, out of 100 people who wants to become professional, sometimes none of them become professionals. But what helps you to go through life is education. And education for me is key. Once you have the education, you have the tools to face all the life. And if you don't become a professional football player, don't worry, it's not even a problem. There's many jobs around football. You can become an agent, you can become a sport director, you can become a kit man, you can do a lot of things. But when you do it. If you want to become a professional football player, become the best. You want to be sport director, be the best. And to be the best, you have to. Education is key. This is something I don't joke with my kids. You have to have a good education. It's important.
Thank you.
We've got another question over here from Mr. Galatasaray. Yeah.
Hi, it's amazing to see you here. I remember the first game you played for Gala. You scored in 5 minutes after you substituted.
Akisar.
Yeah, Akisar. I want to ask you, what was the most memorable moment you had in Gala as a fan?
I think it was the game against, of course, winning the title. 3 months after arriving at the club, and celebrating with the fans. But the best moment was this game against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Crazy, where we lost 3-0 away. Cristiano killed us. And we start the second leg at home. After 1 minute, he scored again. And the manager at halftime said, he sent his assistant to say, Didi, you're out, because we lost this game, and Saturday there's an important game to win the league. So I told the assistant, I said, go and tell the manager that if he thinks that we have lost this game, I'm not going to recognize him. I don't know why I came here. So if someone in this room believes that we can still win this game, come with me. And we went there and we won 3-1. We didn't qualify, but we gave the best game to all the Galatasaray fans because we gave everything. We didn't give up. And
I remember the fourth goal you scored. That was cancelled for the offside.
yes.
I was jumping on the coach. But if there was a VAR system integrated before, we could have won this game.
I don't hear you well.
If we had the VAR system integrated before, we could have won that game.
Yeah, but with a lot of if, my friend. I could have been, I could have won 2 Champions League. I could have done, and that's part of the game. That's part of the game.
For sure.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you.
So we're running out of time here. We only have the opportunity for one final question. Didi, I'll let you pick. Putting you on the spot here. Who's it going to be? 2 people? 2, 3? Are you happy to take all 3 of the
Yeah,
questions?
3 questions. Yeah,
Yeah.
4 questions. That's it.
Okay, there you go. What a
And
gentleman.
now that's over, and you guys come. I'm here for that actually. So
No, thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Didier.
hello.
So first of all, as a young Chelsea fan, I've seen you dominate English football, and a question comes to mind. What advice would you give to Saudi football clubs to build a successful model like Chelsea?
Oh wow. I think for Chelsea to be successful, we needed a lot of things. We had an amazing owner who had a vision when he bought the club back in 2003. When he bought the club, he brought the best manager at the time, and the manager tried to bring talented players, but Frank Lampard, John Terry, me, Petr Cech, none of us won the league before in our respective teams. And all together helped us to build a legacy for the club and to build an identity for the next 15, 20 years. And I was very proud and very honored to be part of this. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Hello,
Yes, please.
Hello, Didier. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
I'm Alejandro from Paraguay. It's a long way in Latin America.
I know.
You know
He
it?
came just for you, eh? Just so you know.
Yes, yes. We have a booth here that you are invited, but I have only 2 questions. One is, back in Paraguay, like in Africa, in Latin America, we have a lot of poverty.
Yes.
And how do you think we can create more opportunities for kids to get into football? And then the other question is, if me and my friend from Paraguay can get a picture with you.
It's easier to answer the second question. I mean, you know, I have a foundation, the Didier Drogba Foundation, and in my few words, you know, before presenting the foundation, I said I dream of a brilliant African, but Africa that will be known not only for its sports person, like me, like Eto, like Yaya Toure, but for their Nobel Prizes, their scientists, their doctors. I mean, football is not the only way to succeed, to make it in life, you know? And I think the best way to create opportunities for kids is education, once again. Very simple, education.
Lovely. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sorry.
Bonsoir, Monsieur Drogba.
Bonsoir.
I have a quick question. What do you say to dual national players, particularly African players, who, let's say, have a European nationality, and they have the choice to either represent their African team or the European team? Merci.
Great
Merci.
question.
I think it's very difficult for me to judge them. I'm born in Ivory Coast. At age 6, I moved to France without my parents. I was living with my uncle, and my dad sent me to France to study, you know, to have a better education and to study. But then, unlucky for him, not only I studied, but I became a big fan of football. So, and then my dream was to become a professional football player, but my dad was focusing. He said, for me, you need to study well. Like I said, exactly what I said to my kids. And I had an opportunity to play for France. I think I was 21 or 22. But, you know, when I was listening to the national anthems of Côte d'Ivoire, I had goosebumps. And I mean, in Ivory Coast, we say that's where my umbilical cord is buried. So I belong there. So I decided to go and play there. So those players, they sometimes have African parents, but they're born in France. They still have the African culture in them, but they decide to play for France or for any other countries. What's wrong with that? It's a personal decision. I cannot criticize them. Instead of criticizing them, we have to identify those talents and invest in infrastructure and football development, grassroots developments, youth developments, so we can have our players from Africa, from Middle East, who will be able to win the World Cup.
Et vous avez bien choisi.
Merci.
What did your dad want you to become, by the way?
Sorry?
What did your father want you to become, by the way?
A doctor.
You made him really proud. Was
You
he
know,
happy in the end?
I told him recently, I said, you see, I couldn't become a doctor, but with my foundation, I'm trying to help people and to save lives. So, you know, I make you happy. I'm happy, you're happy.
Win-win. Excellent. Anyone else? Was there anyone else? Okay, there's plenty. Right there in the middle. Let's go to this side of the room.
Hello, Didier. Actually, I need to thank you so much. I need to thank you so much for letting us be with you. We appreciate your kindness and honestly. We appreciate, of course, what you did for Chelsea and what you did for Africa. And I need to mention that in Egypt, we love you so much. You're like a role model, same like Mo Salah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to my question. You know that life is ups and downs.
Yes.
What's your secret? What is the key of making you challenge and fighting to succeed? Not in only football, I'm speaking in general of life. Thank you.
I use my experience in football, but in life, because football has been my life. So I use my experience as a football player. You know, when I signed for this club in second division, I started training twice a day, and my body was not ready. Before that, like I said, I was amateur, training once a day, sometimes no training, and the manager calls me, Didi, please come, you need to play. And I come, I stop at the fast food next to the stadium, have my burger, go to the game, score 3 goals, go home, thank you. And then I moved to a professional football team where you have to eat right, you have to eat well, you have to sleep well, so your life is more organized. And it took me 3 years to adapt. And during those 3 years, I had, I think, 6 or 7 fractures of fatigue. You know, every time I was about to reach my peak, I was actually overworking. So my body couldn't cope and I was breaking. I broke my 6th metatarsal here, left, right. I've got 2 screws here. I broke my ankle. When I had the injury, I put my leg like this and my ankle was going down. I passed out and I woke up at the hospital. You know, all these challenges, and coming from a family who didn't have much, who had enough, just enough to feed the family, you know, it teaches you a lot of things. And when you are a teenager and you discover how do you say, the challenges of living on your own, becoming responsible, you make mistakes, and I've made mistakes. You know, burning my first salary and then waiting for 10 more days to get the new salary, and I'm like, oh. And I learned from those mistakes. And I think when you face these kind of challenges, being kind of unknown, and it's more difficult to live this life than to be famous and where people open doors everywhere and allow you to do things. Sometimes you think you like a superman, but no, don't forget that. You know, don't forget your past. You know, don't forget your past. And I think the past is what defines you as a person. And I always think about what would have happened if I gave up. What would have happened to me if I gave up when I had those injuries? I would have been back to the township where I grew up, where all my friends stopped going to school. Some of them became, you know, bad person to stay with, like selling drugs. Some of them are in prison. And these are the guys who were saying to me, oh, Didier, where are you going? When I was running to catch the train, the tube, to go to do 1 hour and a half to train and come back at midnight or 1 a.m. And then the next day at 6 o'clock, I had to wake up and go to school. You know, they were telling me, why you do that? Anyway, you're not even going to make it. And I didn't give up. And today I'm here, and some of them are not, you know, life is about making decisions and choices, and you either want to fight and achieve your goals or enjoy what's easy. And I don't like what's easy. It doesn't last.
And that is why you're such a wonderful example for athletes and for just people in life in general. So thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I know we would all love to stay here and continue chatting in the night with you, but unfortunately, I think you're going to have to do it in private because I'm being told that we do have to let you go.
Sorry, guys.
So I'm very sorry because I also would love for you to stay and to continue. It's been so wonderful to listen to you, to your generosity, your insight, your wisdom, everything. You're a fantastic human being. You're a star on and off the pitch. So really, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Didier Drogba, everyone.